Fresh vegetables are supposed to be the easiest thing in your grocery cart. You're not gambling on seafood, you're not decoding ingredient labels, you're buying lettuce, onions, peppers, things that should survive more than a long weekend in your fridge. So when vegetables keep going bad almost immediately, over and over at the same stores, that's not bad luck. That's not you storing them wrong, that's a system problem. And once you start noticing it, you realize how predictable it actually is. Here are the grocery stores where vegetables most often fail after checkout, in very real, very specific ways. Shoppers keep documenting. Walmart. The problems with groceries from Walmart usually don't show themselves until you're already home. One of the most common scenarios involves onions and potatoes that look perfectly fine on the outside, but are already rotting internally. You don't notice until you cut into them and the smell hits. Sour, damp, unmistakably wrong. At that point, the entire bag is suspect. Another recurring issue is moisture. Walmart bagged greens often feel damp the moment you open them, which is a major warning sign. Shoppers repeatedly describe spinach, kale, and spring mix collapsing into slime within 24 to 48 hours, even when stored correctly. Bell peppers and cucumbers are another weak spot. Firm in the store, soft and wrinkled almost overnight. Consumer Reports has consistently ranked Walmart near the bottom for produce satisfaction, largely due to freshness and shelf life complaints. Online, many shoppers say they've stopped buying vegetables there altogether because the waste cancels out the savings. Walmart's products move through massive distribution systems built for speed and scale, not delicacy, and vegetables are often already near the end of their life by the time they hit the shelf. Aldi. Aldi's produce issues are especially frustrating because they often look like good buys. The most notorious example is berries. Shoppers describe buying strawberries or raspberries that appear flawless, only to open the container the next morning and find mold spreading across multiple berries. This isn't occasional, but a recurring complaint. Another specific situation that comes up repeatedly involves sealed salad bags inflating with gas after a day or two, a clear sign of decay already underway. Some shoppers say they've learned to open Aldi salad bags immediately at home just to check whether the greens are already breaking down. Then there are the false freshness moments. Products that pass visual inspection but fail structurally. Watermelons that are brown and fermented inside. Zucchini that looks fine but turns mushy when sliced. Aldi's return policy technically covers spoiled produce, but many shoppers point out the absurdity of needing to return vegetables multiple times a month. The frustration isn't about refunds. It's about trust. Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's produce problem is speed. It's basically how fast things go bad once you leave the store. One of the most common experiences involves bagged greens that spoil days before the printed expiration date. Shoppers describe opening sealed spinach or arugula to find slimy leaves and a sour smell despite proper refrigeration. Herbs are another repeat offender. Cilantro stems are turning black within days. Green onions are becoming mushy at the base. Basil wilting and darkening almost immediately. These aren't storage mistakes. They're signs that the groceries were already stressed before purchase. A major contributor is Trader Joe's packaging strategy. Many vegetables are sealed airtight in plastic, trapping ethylene gas that accelerates ripening and decay. The produce looks pristine on display, but it's optimized for appearance, not longevity. That's why shoppers often say Trader Joe's vegetables feel like they're on a countdown timer the moment they're scanned at checkout. Costco. Costco's produce issue isn't universal, but when it hits hard because of scale. A common situation involves large clamshells of berries where mold starts in one corner and spreads rapidly across the entire container. By the time you notice, half the package is gone. Leafy greens are another frequent complaint. Romaine hearts are browning from the core outward. Spinach clumps together and turns slimy before the week is over. Potatoes are also a recurring problem. Shoppers report opening bags to find several already soft or leaking, accelerating spoilage for the rest. Because everything is sold in bulk, the margin for error is small. One compromised item can ruin everything. That's why many longtime Costco members admit they avoid produce unless they plan to use it immediately, or inspect every single piece in the store. The quality can be good, but the risk is higher than people expect. Pick and save. With Pick and Save and similar budget chains, the problem often shows up before you even buy anything. Shoppers frequently report limp carrots, bruised peppers, and greens that already look tired on the shelf. Zucchini, squash, and cucumbers are commonly cited. Vegetables that should feel firm, but instead feel rubbery or soft. Another recurring situation involves inconsistent rotation. Older products linger too long, while fresher shipments don't arrive quickly enough to replace them. That leads to item sections where quality varies dramatically from one visit to the next. For shoppers trying to cook regularly, that inconsistency becomes exhausting. You can't plan meals around vegetables if you don't trust them to last more than a day or two. Over time, many shoppers simply stop checking the produce section altogether. Safeway. Safeway's produce complaints usually revolve around value. Shoppers describe paying premium prices for vegetables that don't deliver premium quality. Tomatoes are a frequent example. They look ripe, but taste watery and mealy. Lettuce browns at the edges within days. Apples bruise easily and lack crispness. Herbs are another sore spot. Basil, parsley, and cilantro often wilt or blacken almost immediately, even when stored properly. Customers frequently say Safeway produce feels fine, but not fresh, which is arguably worse than obviously bad groceries to buy, because it erodes confidence over time. The issue isn't constant failure, it's inconsistency. One week, the products are acceptable. The next, it's disappointing. That unpredictability makes shoppers hesitant to rely on Safeway for vegetables, especially given the pricing. Publix. The problems with groceries from Publix stands out because expectations are so high. Viral videos have shown green beans with dark spots, slimy textures, and visible spoilage still sitting openly on shelves. Shoppers have also reported peppers and cucumbers with soft spots that suggest internal breakdown. Leafy greens are another concern. Customers describe buying lettuce that looks freshly misted in store, but deteriorates rapidly at home. The misting gives the illusion of freshness, while masking underlying age. Publix customers tend to be vocal when quality slips because they expect better. When vegetables fail here, it doesn't just feel annoying, it feels like a breach of trust. And once that trust is shaken, shoppers start scrutinizing everything more closely. What ties all these stores together isn't laziness or incompetence. It's how modern grocery logistics treat products. Vegetables travel long distances, sit in warehouses, get over-misted to look fresh, and are sealed in plastic that traps decay gases. They're pushed to the edge of sellable life, then placed under bright lights and sold as fresh. That's why the disappointment always comes later. In the store, everything looks fine. The truth shows up in your fridge when your plans fall apart, and your vegetables don't make it to dinner. If you've ever opened a bag of greens and thought, I literally just bought this, you're not imagining it. These are repeat patterns, repeat complaints, and repeat experiences across millions of shoppers. Vegetables shouldn't feel like a gamble, and if they keep failing you, it's probably not your fridge, it's the store.